Hello guys, how you guys all going? A few weeks ago I got asked for a recipe, a request sort of, so to speak, of poached pears. And I did a bit of research on the internet and I've come up with a recipe. It's got some vanilla, it's got some ginger, so I hope you like it. It's really actually quite simple. I was quite blown away how quick it was to make. You can sort of just let it do its own thing. Serve it up with a bit of custard and Bob's your uncle. So I hope you guys enjoy it. To start with, we're going to prepare our pears. Now, don't ask me what type of pears to use. You can use any pears as long as they're not too ripe. Otherwise, they'll fall apart when you poach them. But any pears goes. I've looked throughout the internet. Everyone's got a different opinion, so just use whatever you got on hand. So first thing I'm going to do is obviously just going to peel them. Leave the stalk on. It'll look good for presentation. And once we've got them all peeled, cut the bottom off to give it a flat surface to sit on when we do present it, and then grab either a knife or I've got this melon scooper and just scoop out the inner core. It's very important that you do this step. It'll help it cook a lot faster and it'll allow the poaching liquid to penetrate into your fruit a lot easier as well. Sweet, now we can work on our base, our liquid base. All we're going to do is grab a saucepan, put it on a medium heat, and into the saucepan I'm going to stick in 2 cups of sugar. Now I've decided to split this. I've gone 1.5 cups of white sugar and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. I reckon the brown sugar will just give your poached pears a nice colour in the end. And to the sugar we're just going to add 2 cups of water, bring it to the boil, and then simmer it for about 5 minutes or until our sugar's all well dissolved. And we can put this aside while we work on the other ingredients. Now that we've got the base of our poaching liquid, we're going to put this into a larger pot here on the same heat, and now we can move on to our flavours that we're going to put into our poaching liquid. So I'm going to begin with 1 cinnamon quill broken in half, followed by 1 inch of fresh ginger that I've just finely sliced, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now if you want to be really fancy, chuck in a vanilla bean, 1 vanilla bean here, and substitute for the extract. It'll be fantastic. Followed by 1 tablespoon of honey. You can stick in another tablespoon of honey later on. Just start with 1 and see how it tastes. And finally, to finish our liquid, we're going to stick in the juice of 1/2 a lemon. We're just going to let this simmer slightly until everything's incorporated, so our honey's melted in. And now we're going to stick in our pears. So make sure our pears are nice and tight together, and we're just going to let them simmer here. Make sure it doesn't boil, just let them simmer for around 20 minutes. Now it's going to depend, your cook time is going to depend on the sizes of your pears, so just start checking at around 20 minutes. It can, my pears took 30 minutes, so like I said, it'll depend. You can always check by inserting a fork, and if it's nice and soft, that's what you're after. You don't want any hardness when you put your fork into your pear. So once they're done, we can just let them cool in the poaching liquid, and we can leave this for up to a day, and the liquid will just really infuse really nicely with the pears. However, we can serve immediately, and I'll show you how to do that in our next step. To serve immediately, we're just going to remove our poached pears from their poaching liquid, put them into a bowl. They're free to sit until they're not going to lose their temperature too much. And we're just going to simmer what's left, our poaching liquid. We're going to simmer it for another 15 minutes. Now in this 15 minutes you'll notice that it'll start to thicken really nicely and you'll get left with this really intense syrup. And this is what we're going to serve our poached pears with. So grab a plate or a bowl, put a single poached pear on, drizzle over our syrup that we've just created, and there you go. Voila, a really tasty poached pear. And like I said earlier, you can serve it with a dollop of custard. I've got a recipe for custard, so you can check that out if you want. But they're fine like themselves, and it's a really sort of fancy looking dessert, and it doesn't require much work. It's quite quick and very easy to do. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to check out any of the other recipes, and like I said, you can flick in some requests and I'll see what I can do for you guys.